Dennis, you there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can hear you. Cool.
Do you hear music by any chance?
I don't.
Okay. Is that you, Stephen?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to get my headphones plugged into the iPhone.
You're good.
Cool.
How's everything going, man?
Oh, everything's going good. Going great at the church. Good music. Hold on 1 second. I'm putting my headphones in.
All right.
My bad. There we go. Can you hear me?
I can.
This is so much better. Yeah, things are going good. Things are going good.
Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Yeah,
just
we
got off the phone with.
Just
got off the phone with. Let's see. Radio station manager out of Florence, Alabama. Muscle Shoals over in there. It's the Fix, WFIX. I work part-time at 88.5 JFM. It's a contemporary Christian station going through some problems with streaming licensing here lately. And so I'm getting gleaning some wisdom from him as far as streaming goes. So good call.
Good deal. Good deal. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I had sent out a Facebook post and also an email on what we were going to talk today about, just planning the worship set, basically, and anything else that you'd like to talk about too as well, we can. And I was just kind of reading some things before, we started today, and I just read this. To me, was just really, I thought something very profound. I wanted to kind of share it today.
Sure.
And it's from a John Maxwell book about everyone communicates and few connect. And he was talking about he was sharing a story about going on to see one of the seven wonders of the world. Let me see exactly what it was. So make sure I'll tell you the right thing. Let's see. Machu Picchu is like a mountaintop home in South America. It's supposed to be one of the wonders of the world. And hey, Stephen, I'm going to mute your mic just for a second, okay? I'll get a little extra noise.
Yeah, it was my chair.
Oh, it's your chair? Okay. You're good.
Creaky chair.
Gotcha. But anyway, we were talking. He was talking about this tour guide that he had, and how the guy ruined the whole trip for these people that were on this tour. And in fact, they were with some people that used to be tour guides at this amazing mountaintop. And he said that eventually everyone left the tour guide because he just wanted to have his own agenda, and he knew more than everybody else, and he didn't want to take time to connect with people and value what those people wanted to hear, instead of just sticking with his agenda. And it was a really great point, but this is something he wrote, a quote from him. It says, "Such people miss incredible opportunities in life by failing to connect. Good teachers, leaders, and speakers don't see themselves as experts with passive audiences they need to impress, nor do they view their interest as most important. Instead, they see themselves as guides and focus on helping others learn. Because they value others, they work at connecting with the people they're teaching or trying to help." And it just to me was a great example. As a musician and then as a worship leader, sometimes you get caught up in that, especially from a musician standpoint, of trying to want to impress people. And I've gotten caught up
Yeah.
in the past. You spend literally thousands of hours working at your craft, and obviously the tendency is to want to impress people. And um, as a worship leader, we really want people to be impressed by God and by God flowing through us and flowing through them.
Right.
And so one of the things we talked about in some of our prior webcasts is just about connecting to people. And I shared this a little bit when I was in Branson, and it's a valid point that sometimes we have to connect with people, and we have to connect with God, and we actually have to connect people with God, or encourage them to do that as well. So just something that I was meditating on, and just really wanted to share with everyone. Is to try to stay connected to God, and try to stay connected to the people that are on your team, and connected with the people that you're leading into worship. I've found that I can't really force anybody to worship, but I can surely encourage them. And it's a fine line between tapping into what the Spirit of God wants us to do, and also making sure that those people, it's delivered, what the Spirit of God wants is delivered in the right way, so that these people can connect. And so that's just one of the things that I'm meditating on right now and studying on right now. I see we have one of the Stevensons here. Is that can you hear me? Maybe I have you muted, or she's muted, or he's muted. I'm not sure.
It looks like they're muted. It's got that muted button at the bottom.
Yeah, it does. If you muted yourself, go ahead and unmute so we can talk to you. Okay. Hopefully they're hearing what we're having to say. And I believe that they're in Houston, Texas area. I met Chaz and his wife at the Branson and the ICFM. We've actually seen them before there, and got to talk to them a little bit.
Chaz?
Yeah.
That's right. A cool name, Chaz. I like that.
I'm sure it's short for Charles, but I don't really know. I'm not sure. So anyway, if you're hearing us, we're good to have you here with us today, and we'll looking forward to talking to you later on if you can get your mic working. So we appreciate that. All right. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about building the song list. And Stephen, do you use Planning Center at all? You do.
I don't.
You don't.
No.
Okay. We talked about this the other day. I'm sorry. I remember.
It's okay.
But when I'm building a song list, and I'll let you share it. I'll just kind of talk about what I do.
Sure.
When I'm building a song list, I obviously pray and seek God about what we're going to do. I'm not one of these kind of guys that gets a whole month's worth of song lists and send them out. I just can't do that. And I realize that God knows what's going to happen tomorrow, and He knows what's going to happen the next day. I get all that. But at the same time, I try to look at it as each week as a new experience. And so I try to start working on my song list on Monday for that coming Sunday. Now, I'd like to get where I'm ahead of time, where I'd be maybe a week or so ahead of time. But I start working on my list there. And a lot of times I'll already know if there's a new song that I want to learn ahead of time. And so that'll kind of play into what I come up with a song list. So I'll pray about it, obviously, and I get leading of God of what songs to do. But sometimes I don't necessarily hear this voice from heaven saying, "Hey, I want you to do all 4 of these songs," blah blah blah. I'll get 1 or 2 songs that I know inside of me that this is what God wants me to do that Sunday. And also it depends on what my pastor is teaching on, or what they're preaching on. I have a couple of different pastors that teach. I have our founding pastor, then we have our lead pastor, so they swap back and forth. So I have to kind of know where they're going. And a lot of times, a lot of the songs that we know, and you know as well, Stephen, they're kind of multi-purpose songs. They're there for a lot of praise and worship, but they also, hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Okay, who's this?
I'm Patrick McGraw. I'm from a Houston Faith Church.
Awesome.
I was signed in under Chaz's deal there, and I didn't change it, so I shifted over to my Mac over here.
Okay, cool.
And I missed your last one, so I'm glad to be here.
Hey, Patrick, glad you're here, man. We appreciate you coming, okay?
All right.
And we get to look at Chaz and his wife's picture the whole time, too, because they're still signed in there. That's awesome.
I'll unsign it. I was uploading other stuff to YouTube, so unfortunately there are
It's
signs.
okay. Leave them there. It makes us feel like we got more people tuned in. It's all good. The next time I see Chaz, I'll say, hey man, you're great. I appreciate you coming, but you didn't say anything, you know. So.
Right.
How's it going, Patrick?
Pastor Chaz is awesome.
How's everything going, Patrick?
Everything's going good. Everything's great.
Good. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Well, right now I'm working as a media director for Houston Faith Church. Okay. And I'm the lead musician under Pastor Joni. Pastor Joni's the worship leader, and awesome. I just do all the, right now I put together all the music, or the technical stuff, let's say.
Okay.
So technical side of the music I handle.
Very good. Very good. So tell us a little bit about your team, please, if you would.
Well, we have a really great team. We have let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 singers. We have 2 guitarists, a keyboard player, and myself who play keys and guitar. And we're still believing God for a drummer. And so as of the last really 4 years, I've sequenced everything on the Korg, keyboard.
Okay.
So we're using that as our base.
Gotcha.
And then, so that's kind of where we're at, but we're believing God to fill the team out.
Okay. Very good.
God is really doing awesome things here at the church, and we're just really thrilled about what He's doing.
Very good. Good. We're joined today by Stephen Spiegel, and Stephen is also he's in Arab, Alabama, and he's been with us. This is your second time, right, Stephen? Did you tune in?
Third. We had an initial meet and greet, then we had the one with the producer last week, and then this one this week. Yeah,
that's right. Three times. Thank you,
Three
Stephen.
times.
Appreciate
yes,
it.
Sir.
And anyway, Stephen's him and his wife are both on the team at his church, and I believe she's involved with the worship leading part. Is that right, Stephen?
She's vocals. Yeah, she's vocals, right. And I'm more instrumental. But yeah,
instrumental, and he also works at a radio station too. So he's kind of he's a busy guy. So anyway, get you kind of caught up, Patrick. We were talking about building a set list today, and each to kind of give you an idea of what we do. Each month we try to pick a couple of different topics that we will talk about, and I'll kind of share a little bit about what I know about some of the topics or things that I've experienced, and then I want to open it up for you guys to kind of talk about how you do what you do. Because just because I've been doing this for forever doesn't mean that I can't learn anything, and that's the purpose of this, is to be open forum, so that we can kind of share information and give each other encouragement as well as information and resources. And before I forget about it. If you guys get to where you're using Ableton Live, let me know, because I have produced probably 50 songs or so, maybe not that many. Let me take it back. Probably more like 30, in the 30 range of Ableton Live of songs that we do here, and I've produced parts for them. And so I would like to make any of those available to you guys. I don't mind sharing with you. It took me time to do it, but I don't mind sharing with you guys if you can use it for your church or to help you with that at all. And if you're not familiar with Ableton Live, just go to YouTube and pull it. Just click in Ableton Live, and you can find tons of videos on there. In fact, we have one on our Worship Leader Webcast. I did an Ableton special, and I believe it was 2 months ago, so you can look at that. Brian Dumas, who's over at a church in Shreveport, he and I kind of talked about it a lot. He's interested in using it, and so I went in some detail with that. So if you're interested in that and would like any of those worship songs that I've made or produced in there, you're welcome to those. I don't mind sharing that with you.
Cool.
It's nothing like, why would I hold something that, that took me hours to do, but it may save you some time to do at your church. And we're not in competition here. We're in brotherhood together. So if I can help you with that, and you see that you could use that, please go ahead. But anyway, we're talking about building the set list, and I was just telling Stephen that I obviously pray about what songs I want to do, and sometimes I'll have a Damascus Road type experience where God will tell me, hey, I want you to do all these songs this Sunday. But usually, for me, and this is how it works for me in our church, I'll get one or two songs that I know in my heart that we need to do this Sunday, and then I'll pray about that, and then I'll put together a set of, based on that. And so, to give you an example for this week, we just did a new song to us. It's not really a new song. Last week called The Anthem by Planet Shakers. You guys familiar with that song at all? Okay, great song, by the way. Anyway, we do quite a bit of Planet Shakers stuff, but really love this song, and it really went well last week. I mean, it's a good worship song when you do it the second time around. The chorus comes around, everybody's singing it, everybody's worshiping, and so we felt like this was a winner. But I knew that I wanted to do this song this week, and I also added another new song that we're learning called "Lift Up Your Hands in the Sanctuary," and it's Sean Font.
Rick Pino.
Yeah, Rick Pino, exactly. We're going to open up with that song this week. So I know I want to do those two songs. So that's what I'm going to build my set around. And so I thought what I would do is I've got Planning Center up right now. So I'm going to swap screens, and you're not going to have to look at my ugly mug for a second. But I'm going to do a screen sharing, and I'm going to go over to Planning Center. And you guys aren't using it yet, right? Planning Center? Okay. All right. I'll kind of briefly go over that too. We also have a Planning Center special that we did a few months back, and so if you want to review some of that, you can. But let's see if I can get my screen sharing happening here. Let's see. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, are you able to see now Planning Center? Okay, good, cool. All right. As you can see right here, I've got our pre-service loop here, and I've got our intro video, and then I've got Lift Up Your Hands in Sanctuary. We're going to actually do this song first this week, and then I've got the anthem in here. We're going to actually do this song probably last, and so anyway, you can see it's in B flat, and then we modulate into C, and from there I've got the rest of what we typically do in a service. We got our announcements, our live announcements, and we're actually going to change that this week to video announcements. We do a gathering, and then an offering. And once our offering is announced, I'll put another song in here. And we're doing something for Memorial Day this week, so I'm going to get with Pastor in just a few minutes, and we're going to insert a Memorial Day song or a patriotic type song in here probably, or maybe before she preaches. So anyway, what I do here is I've got a song list over here, and I guess you can see that. But I can drag any of these songs that we do here inside of this list and drag and drop it right here, and see if I can actually make this work so you can see. Hey, can you tell me if I'm going to drop and drag a song in? Just tell me if you see me do this, okay? Because I can't really tell from the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's going.
All right, I'm not going to use that one. But anyway, I've got Lift Up Your Hands here, and we're going to do this song in the key of E. And it's going to be it's a barn burner type song. So I want to go from there into something that I know is going to fit with that song. And I want to do something that's kind of fast, because I'm just not quite ready yet to go into worship there. So if you're looking over here in my pool of songs, and you can tell when I hover over a song, it gives me that song and what key that we do it in. And these are all songs that I've added into our pool, and it's pretty easy to do. once you get the hang of it. But anyway, these are songs that we've done recently. Now, we just did Joy last week, so I would love to do that song, but we just did it, so I'm not going to do that song this week. I'm going to go in and No Other Name is in the key of E, but it's still a little too slow for what I want. I want something that's going to be kind of upbeat and fast. But what I don't want is a song that's going to be in the key of D or anything in that area, because I want something that's going to either be in the same key or take it up. Because if I go down like a whole step or a half step, either way, it's going to bring the whole mood of everything down, and that's not what I'm wanting to do. And so, just looking at what I have here, obviously I'd be praying about what I'm going to do here. I'm not just going to pick a random song by any means. I want to meditate on this for a while. And right now I'm just kind of showing you guys how I would approach doing that. While I'm doing this, I would be in a prayerful mode, and I wouldn't just be picking and grabbing songs at random. That's just not the way I operate. But anyway, I like Let It Be Known a lot, and we haven't done that song in a while. It's in the key of E, and so I'm going to grab that song and I'm going to throw it in there. So I've got a brand new song that I'm introducing, and when I drop the song in here, it gives me like how long the song was, who I typed in here last week, who was going to be leading that song, and I still want the same guy, Chris, to be my worship leader, and Ian is playing the lead lick on that song, so that's something that I'm communicating to my sound team as well, just a reminder to them that, hey, I want this song has this lick that I think is pretty important, and I want you to be aware of it, and I want it to be up in the mix. And so I'm going to accept that. So now that song's in here. It's not where I want. Yeah, it is where I want it. Okay. All right. So now I've got that there. And then I could either do the anthem right after that song, or I can do it, after the next song. We've got that song in B flat to C. I really like this No Other Name song a lot. So, and it's got elements of worship, and yet it's got high energy in it to it as well, which is kind of what I want coming out of Let It Be Known. I don't want something that's going to be too slow at this point. Even though I love slow worship, this is just not where I want to be yet. My focus is every song is a focus, but my focus is on that last song being climactic, where everyone is really lost in worship there. And this being the second time we've done that song, I think we can go there, if everyone will connect. Using that word again, connect. But anyway, here's the No Other Name, and right here I don't have any special notes on here. I just have me being the worship leader for that. Now, obviously, when I go to print this out, I'll probably put more things in here, more notes that I want my people to see. So I'm going to accept No Other Name. Now I've got 3 songs in the key of E, and then I'm going to change keys for the anthem, which is fine. That's not a problem for me to do that. So that's kind of what I'm looking for Sunday. Like I said, I knew 2 of these songs I wanted to do before we started here today, and I've been praying about the other songs that I don't want to do, and I kind of had an idea what I wanted, but really hasn't really been concrete of what I wanted to do. So that kind of shows you how I can form that set. Now, obviously, I started praying about this at the beginning of the week. I didn't just today say, pick out of the air, hey, I want to do these songs. I knew those other 2, and I kind of know what's going to work with that for us. My church is totally different than yours. I know that, and I'm not trying to get you to do things the way we do it. I'm just kind of showing you the resources that I use to make it happen. And so that's kind of how that works. While I'm on this page, do any of you guys have any questions about Planning Center that while I'm on that, even though that's not our topic today. It's not. It is about building a set. Is there any questions that you have that I might could answer?
Well, it's pretty interesting. Kind of neat that you can put all your info in there and decide a few things. That's kind of cool.
Well, the other thing that's really cool about it is scheduling. Is this program allows me to schedule people for. If I click on the people icon, I'll go back to the songs where we were. If I click on the people icon here, this is my team that I have scheduled for this week here. And you see over here, our ushers are not doing what they're supposed to. They're supposed to schedule all of their people, and our video people still haven't filled their people in. But here's my vocal team over here, and here's my band that I have over here. And so our sound team is over here, and they've been good, and they've scheduled themselves for the whole month. Now, tomorrow I'm going to schedule for the whole month of June with this. And what I do is, one reason I like this is when I go to schedule for this month, see this matrix button right here. I'm going to click on that. When I go to matrix, it brings up my previous services that we've had. Like here, this is this week, that's last week's, and there's the next 2 weeks here. And so what I can do with this is, like all of this stuff that we're using right here, is I can pull it over here, and all that stuff is in where I want it to be, and I can move it around however way I want to. But I've got this template that I've created, and so I'm just going to use this every week, and unless we move something, have something different. So these are standard things that I know I'm going to use, every week, and I'll do that for the whole month. And then you okay? That was a good sneeze. So
that was
impressive.
That was impressive.
That was. So I can also do that when scheduling people, is I can click on the people icon here, and I have to go to the people mode in this. But if I go, let's click this. Let's go to band. I've got band open there. There they are. Okay. Let's open this vocal. I'll open band as well. So when I go to this matrix here, I can schedule from here. I see who I had scheduled in weeks past, and I can, from here, I can drag these people over there into those positions. And when I do that, I'm going to just drag myself over here so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, I'm going to be playing acoustic guitar next week on June the 5th. So you see I've got that question mark by my name because it hasn't been confirmed yet. And what I'll do is I'll drag my whole team over here, and I can do it from here if I want. If I wanted to drag these people over here, I can. But I've got a couple different drummers. These guys here right now are kind of playing every week, but pretty soon we're going to be adding some more musicians in here. And so I'll drag these people over here. I know that a couple of these guys can't be here on a few dates this week, and they've already blocked those dates out. So if I wanted to schedule them, I couldn't. I can kind of show you right here. I think Erica's blocked out for the 12th. Let's try to see what happens. Yeah, there you go. So she's already blocked this date out. So I can't assign her because it's telling me that I could accept the conflicts, but I don't want to because she's not going to show up. So anyway, that's kind of how that works. And if I once I fill out this whole week, in fact the whole month, I can email everybody at one time. And not only does it email them because I've got all my team set up on text messaging as well, they'll get a text message that tells them, hey, I've been assigned, you've been asked to sing on June the 5th and June the 19th, either decline or confirm. So it'll be two different texts. One will be for the 5th and one will be for the 19th. If those are the 2 days that you were scheduled. So you can confirm on one or decline the other or confirm both or whatever. And I immediately get a response back from them. So I know that they've confirmed. And when I pull up this, like Brian Friday hasn't confirmed yet for this Sunday, I know he's going to be there, but because he's on staff here, he hasn't confirmed yet. He's been in Germany on a missionary trip, so he's kind of out of the loop. But when he hasn't confirmed yet, so I know that Brian's questionable right now. So I can call him while I'm looking at my set for this Sunday. I can call him and say, "Hey, Brian, you haven't declined or confirmed yet. Are you going to be here?" So it kind of lets me know who's already committed and for that week, and if I'm scheduling for the whole month, it lets me know who can or who can't be here, which is important to me, and I'm sure it's important to you guys as well. So as a scheduling tool, this thing is fantastic. I love it, and it really has helped me tremendously. I don't have to send out MP3s anymore. I don't have to send out songs anymore. Because let's get out of this mode here. I'll go back to where we were. I'll show you right now what I'm talking about. Computer's running really slow right now for some reason. Let's go back to the plan. Okay, if I go to this songs right here, if you notice over here where I'm hovering over this little grayed out area, it says 3. This lift up your hands has got 3 attachments in here. It's got the original key here. It's got the key that I changed to the key of E here, and it has a PDF as well. Anybody from their phone or from their computer, if they're using the app from their phone, they have access to all of this. And from their phone, it's even easier because when they see this here, it'll have when you hover over this on your phone, you can click on songs, and it'll bring up all the songs that we're doing on their phone, and in order they can listen to them. They can listen to the parts that I put on there. Like these songs don't have parts. Yeah, it does. Here we go. The anthem, the one I just put in last week, it's got an alto soprano part here. So their parts are even on their phone. So they can actually, while they're riding around in their car, they can, if they have Bluetooth, they can practice their parts while they're in their car. On Sunday morning when they're on their way to church, they can practice their parts. Even though a lot of them don't, that's what I encourage them to do. And so by the time they get to church, should be ready to sing their parts. And even for rehearsals, they should be ready to at least know what their part sounds like. And so, I know I'm talking a lot, guys, and I don't want to be dominant in this conversation, but this tool is really great. It's, I'm going to come back now and get out of this mode for a second and see where we're at. Okay, here we are. Anyway, we've been using that about almost a year now, I guess. And I know it's been around forever, but it's a great tool. It's $29 a month for up to 50 people. We use it just for our praise team, our sound and audio video people at first, and our media people, people that do our overhead. But then everybody else wanted to get on the bandwagon after that. So now our ushers and our greeters and our kids world workers, they all are using it now and they love it. But once you go up past 50 people, we're paying I think it's $50 for up to 150 people. But it's worth it. If you got to manage 150 people with it, and it's got all of those, it's got the app, it has the ability to help you with scheduling. The bigger you get, the harder it is to schedule people and the harder to keep up with who's going to show up, who's not going to show up. And this just really helps me a lot. If you can get people on board to use it, that's the thing. It's like, technology is only as good as the people that are using it. And so I kind of have to, strongly encourage them to use it sometimes. But and you don't have any, you'd think it would be the young people that would just love this thing, but I have teenagers on my team that I have a harder time getting to use it than the adults, which kind of shocks me.
Snapchat.
Yeah. All right. input. How do you guys approach your song list? Is there something that you wanted to share as far as building the song list? Because I'd like to hear something.
Well, personally, Pastor Joni picks all the songs.
Okay.
At this time, but depending on right now she's in Singapore. Pastor Joni's she went to Korea.
Yeah.
And now she's in Singapore, and all I do is usually pick songs in keys that she's a alto more or less, and I'm a baritone.
Mm-hmm.
Baritone tenor perhaps.
Yeah. That always presents a problem with the ranges for sure.
Yeah, well, we're not really. I mean, the Korg. I have a Korg Kronos, and I've sequenced everything in the Kronos. So it's kind of like we end up having to. We're stuck to the dumb machine, kind of. So that's our drummer, unfortunately.
Gotcha. So I guess you've gotten pretty good at sequencing and being able to start and stop.
It's really been an eye opener. I mean, I literally have about 1,500 hours in sequencing right now.
Oh my gosh!
So I sequence them just like a real drummer, and so it's been an amazing tool that way. It's really taught me how to play drums technically.
Wow, I can't imagine.
Play drums with your fingers.
I do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tricks with the Korg. The Korg is a monster.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so you use MIDI step sequence plus live, and then you go back in and tweak the notes to make them right, and you can do quite a bit. So audio bass, add in the bass player. I don't have a bass player, so I play in the bass as well, and then we play everything else live around it.
Yeah, I was looking at what was it? One of these loops. I can't remember what company it was. I mean, each song is like $40 for track. Drums, keys, 3, bass. And going down the line is so expensive. Unless you get into a software or a share site that people will produce. Yeah, that's the most affordable way. I applaud you. That's a very good job. It's a lot of times. I know.
Yeah, your microphone is Patrick. Is Steven's microphone cutting?
Yeah, it's cutting out pretty bad.
Yeah, it's cutting in and out a lot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's all right.
Oh, that's weird.
Are you on a laptop? Are you on a phone?
I'm on my iPhone.
Okay.
Phone.
All right. Why don't you just try it without the headphones just to see if it works? I think you might have the microphone on the control on your headphones might be messed up. That's much better.
Awesome.
Yeah, we can hear you now, buddy.
There it is.
Very good. Very good.
Well, what I was saying was doing that, sequencing it on your keyboard, that's a lot more affordable than a lot of other options out there. I know I was looking this morning at some songs on Worship Together, and they have different links to different sites. And I forget had it set up to go and you could purchase the tracks for that particular song. So you had like keys, drums, keys 2, keys 3, 4, bass synth, and all this stuff. But it was so expensive, like $40, $50 per song. So do it yourself, of course, the more affordable option. There are some free share sites out there. Quality isn't that great.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. If you guys ever go to Ableton Live, it's a $99 program for the light version, and that's all I use. Is you're welcome to use the songs that I have programmed. And the beautiful thing about Ableton Live is a lot of the stuff that you've sequenced, Patrick, that you could use along with that. You can even use it to fire off your keyboard if you are so inclined to do that. You can use all that stuff that you've already used or created. You can still use, which makes it really nice. And what I like about it is the visual part of it. Even though I've used a keyboard and sequence with it before, nothing to the extent that you have. I had to take my hat off to you for that. It's amazing. But the thing about it is you have that the visual part of it, and I program everything that we use for Ableton. basically like the anthem song we just did last week. I did put my bass player wasn't here last week. I think I shared he was in Germany last week doing some missionary work. So I played bass on one of the songs that we did last week because I'm a multi-instrument guy. So I'll play whatever I need to. Let's put it that way. So I played bass on one of the songs, but I programmed bass on the other 4 songs that we did. Yes. And so, excuse me, 3 songs that we did. So
MIDI?
No, I did not. I used Ableton. And I recorded them MIDI.
Right.
And then I put them from MIDI into Ableton.
Wow.
And so when I fired off, if you got a second, I'll show you what it did. This is kind of cool because it'll be something that'll hopefully benefit you. And I'll open up Ableton and then I'll screen share it and take a second.
Patrick, what was your set last Sunday?
Last Sunday, I did "You're Worthy of My Praise," the Bethel version.
Pretty good.
And I did. Let's see, what else did I do? I'm drawing a blank. We did. Oh man, I'll have to look it up.
I put you on the spot, man. I'm sorry.
You did. You put me on the spot, brother.
What do you
I have to look
at
my text messages to see. Yeah.
It's all good.
Tell you what, a resource that I've started using, I've used ever since I've come on and worked with praise and worship here at the church, is Facebook. You can get a Facebook private group together.
Right.
And just have the members of your group on there so they get notifications every time you put out a set list. They get it. You can put links to YouTube there. They'll get that so they can practice over their songs, be listening to those. So
yep.
Yeah.
I've been using that a lot because it's free,
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But
I did an oldie moldy. I did "Lord, I Lift Your Name on High," the Lincoln Brewster version. And I did a song I wrote a couple years ago.
Cool.
So
"Lord, I Lift Your Name on High" was written in the 90s. I remember doing that.
It's old.
And it's still on the top 100 songs done in churches every
Hey,
year.
Lincoln Brewster's version is pretty cool. It kind of rocks it out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So people love it. We added a bunch of tags in it and stuff.
Very cool.
Awesome.
All right, well, can you guys see the Ableton setup here by any chance on your screen?
Yeah,
I can see it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to open up, and this is the way it comes. And I have a template that I'll pull up, or normally pull up. I won't do it now, but this has got MIDI tracks here, 2 MIDI tracks and 2 audio tracks, and then it has reverb and delay. And over here is your master. Let me pull up one I just did. I'm going to go to, this is last week's. Okay, cool. All right, so last week I had, the anthem is right here. It's the 3rd song I did. And I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe. Let me see if I can put the preferences to be with the personas your way. You still there? Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah. You're good.
Okay, cool. All right. I wanted to. Some reason I lose you, I can go back, but what I've done now is I've picked a different interface for this to play through.
Right.
Okay, and to kind of give you an idea, the anthem has got clicks that I've created and cues here I've created, and this is the bass part. I'm gonna highlight it. I took it off because our bass player showed up and played for the last set. And this is some sweeps that I made, or distorted Stratocaster that I made. This is a another pad, and this is some bells that I brought in later. And this is a lead vocal that I brought in just for practice purposes when we practiced last week. So that's what it's all about. Over here you see is the name of the song, and 76 beats per minute. And the cool thing about this program is, let's say I'm doing this song and we have multiple services. Let's say I did it at 9 and I really thought, this is a little too slow. All I have to do is click on that and right click, and then I can edit the launch tempo, and I can make it go up to whatever tempo I want it to be, and it won't affect the quality of the music at all. And so over here, I clicked on this is the
MIDI bass.
I'm sorry.
MIDI bass, or is it?
It can be wave or MIDI, either way you want to go, and not just wave too. It accepts other types of files.
Wow.
This is the editing window here, and this is where I bring in songs that I work on. Now a lot of these I copied and pasted from other sets that I did, so you only see God's Great Dance Floor on here for right now. But that was the song we did, the song we opened up with. And you can see I've got it here, God's Great Dance Floor, and then I've got a reprise. And what I did...
did you have a trumpet player?
No, but I play a soprano saxophone, and it's in the same range, and so I play that.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it kind of works.
Did you wear a Matador uniform?
No, I should have. That would have been great. But when I created these things here, just to kind of let you know, I created a lot of this. This is actually one that I bought, which I only had like 2 that I bought in the last year. But I usually create them in Logic and then bounce the tracks and put them in these folders here. And so you can see that, like, God's Great Dance Floor is here. So I click on it and I've got all of these tracks that are here. And typically when I make tracks, the clicks and the cues won't be in here in that folder. I'll have to create those myself. And so I just take these tracks here and drag them over here to this window, and then on each one of these particular tracks that are here, and I line them up, and if for some reason that let's just say that I wanted this song to start here, like to give us a lead in, and then let's see if you guys could hear this or not. I don't know if you can or not. Try it. No, I'm not hearing it. Hold on a second. I know why. Got this assignment on 3 and 4. Let's see if you can hear it now. No, not happening.
Yeah.
I see levels moving, but I don't hear anything.
Yeah, left or right.
It's just, let me see if I can put it in, try it in the, oh, it's going to 18, that's why. Okay. That's all good.
If you have it come through your computer speakers, we could probably still hear it.
Yeah, you probably could. That'll work. Let's change this to IO2 and see what happens. Okay. Still not working.
Now, what do you use to fire this? Do you have like a MacBook Pro on stage with you?
The one that you're looking at right now is the one I use on stage, and I usually have my keyboard player fire it off for me, and it works fine that way.
Does he fire?
What's that?
Does he have a foot or what?
I couldn't hear you, Stephen. It broke up.
I'm sorry. Does he fire it off with a MIDI interface, or does he have a foot pedal he uses, or what?
Well, we run it through
like
a
say
MIDI.
you want to go back to a bridge or a chorus. I mean, does he have
Hey, you
hotkeys
guys.
set up to go back and forth?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ditch, and
That's fine.
I have to take some stuff to the post office and whatnot. But I really appreciate everything today, and I'll be glad to join you guys again later.
Sounds great. Nice to meet you, Patrick. Please come back to see us,
sir.
okay? Be part of it. Take care.
Thank you much.
All right, man. That's what I was explaining. I wish you could hear it, and next time I'll have it set up where you can hear it. It's just that I'm actually talking through an interface, and it won't let me play from the from the same interface, and so I have to hook up another one to make it work. But I'll make it work next time you're here. But this great stands for reprise right here. What I did was, you could do it a couple different ways. People will take and put parts of the song here, and they'll put like say verse, chorus, and they'll fire them from here. I don't do that, but you can. And see, if I hit this key assign button here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and or assign to these particular songs, but you can actually make it parts of songs instead. And so when you get to, you can program it to continuously go from one song to the next, without any break being in the two if you want to. So you could do that with parts of songs if you wanted to, and it would just go from one to the other. Now when you go, let's just say we had the number 2 was our chorus. If you wanted to repeat a chorus, when you got to the measure before the end of that, you just simply hit 2 again, and it would take you back to the beginning of the chorus. And it'll also give you the cues too. Like it'll say chorus 2, 3, 4. So all your team will know where you're going with it. So it's very...
That really helps too, because I don't know about you, but I mean, we try to structure it as much as possible. We have a basic outline of the song before we get started.
Right.
But then lots of times we'll go back into a verse or back into a bridge or back into a chorus a few times. So it's nice to have that capability of firing off within the song somewhere else.
Absolutely. And that's a lot. When I first started using it, I thought to myself, this is going to be really inhibit me from flowing, and actually it hasn't been the case at all. It's actually helped us. It's made our band better because you got that, you have that click going that keeps you, right on line. And when you want to flow at the end of the song, the track, the click stops and you just keep going, and it's not that, it's not what you think, like I'm going to lose so much that it's not going to work. It's not the case. It usually just it's the other way around. It actually helps. And all of my musicians, they were at first kind of leery of it, but not anymore. They all love it because they know it makes us play better. So anyway,
playing with a click helps any group.
Yeah, and the thing of it is you can tell a musician that practices with a metronome and one that doesn't. No matter how good your timing is, you still need to have that foundation to help you. But anyway, Stephen,
it's funny. Quick story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick story for you, if you got a second.
Sure.
I used to be on the praise and worship team at another church in Eva, Alabama. This was back like in the early 2000s. And so while I was there, I had a particular keyboard player who swore that she was on time all the time. And see, I was the drummer back then, so I knew different because I practiced with a metronome, and she didn't. So finally, one day I brought my metronome with me, and I set it while she was playing. And I kind of pointed out, you're really not on beat. And it made her so mad. It was outrageous. But, I mean, I was right. It was just bad that I was right, but she was really mad.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Even if you don't have this access, if your team can practice with a metronome together, you'll be amazed at what people find out about themselves. And it's kind of like it's an eye opener, but at the same time, it's if they take it the right way, it can really, really help them as musicians and help your team as overall.
Yeah.
But anyway, those are, like I said, if you're interested in an Ableton thing, we have a special on it a couple months ago. I believe it would be the March special that we go in depth on it. So check it out if you would. And
nice.
I'm gonna sign off. Man, I really appreciate you coming. And
yeah.
I'll advertise and let you know ahead of time, get you that link a little sooner next month, okay?
Okay, just a heads up, unless you're just in a hurry, I'll tell you what we did as our set this past Sunday.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, Your Throne Will Last Forever. You ever heard that song?
I have not.
Your Throne Will Last Forever. It is by John Ragsdale. If you go on YouTube, you can look up Lyndall Cooley Your throne will last forever. He was the guy who was at Brownsville for so long.
Yeah, I know him.
That we did. No Turning Back. That's a contemporary Christian song. I think it's Brennan. Jesus Loves Me, the new one by Chris Tomlin, and then Touch the Sky by Hillsong United.
Yep.
I know it's an older song, but that Touch the Sky has a really nice groove to it, very worshipful.
Oh, awesome. I just accidentally put part of your song list on the chat there and
Cool.
And accidentally put it in too soon. So anyway, I'll post that. What was give it to me one more time real quick. I'm going to try to jot it down and then write
Oh,
it.
the list was Your Throne Will Last Forever. No Turning Back.
Okay.
Jesus Loves Me.
Okay.
And Touch the Sky.
Awesome.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
My wife's trying to call.
Oh, Stephen. All right. I'll let you go. Take care, buddy. All right. We'll see you next month. All right. You too. Bye-bye.